Hey everybody, Brett Mix here. This is another Royal Rumble review today for my channel, Macho Wrestling 101 here on YouTube. It's a new channel, and if you would take the time to hit like or subscribe or maybe a comment in the comment section about the show we're reviewing, it'd mean the world to me. Just takes a second and it would help my channel get its feet off the floor. Today we're doing the 2016 Royal Rumble. I can't believe we're already at the 2016 event. I started from 88 and we're going to keep going until the end. And each day we pump out new videos. So, like I said, stick around. This will be a good time. 2016 Royal Rumble took place from Orlando, Florida, on January the 24th, 2016. We had a banger right off the hop, and we had Dean Ambrose defending his Intercontinental title against Kevin Owens. And Owens was just getting over with the crowd around this time, whereas Dean Ambrose was already a made man, having been in the Shield, having been a babyface with Roman on the main roster for a while. But these men let it all out there. This match had everything. It was one of the best pay-per-view Royal Rumble matches in history. It reminds me of Mankind and The Rock from 1999. I've rated it around the same. I'll get to the rating in just a second. Mankind and The Rock obviously didn't. Well, you can't say they weren't as physical, but it wasn't as back and forth as this one. Kevin Owens was in control, and then Dean Ambrose was in control. So Ambrose and Owens just went at it, and they involved so many weapons: the stairs, the barricade, even the tables. The fans are chanting for tables the whole time as they were going after weapon, and the tables finally came out. KO stacked two tables together so that they were always in the corner. So you always thought there was going to be a spot there, and when it did, holy shit, who would go through it? Because it was right by the turnbuckle, and the tables perked over the top turnbuckle. So nonetheless, they used chairs. They went through a table on the outside. Ambrose did the flying elbow drop from the top turnbuckle in the opposite corner where the tables were set up. Kevin Owens, a ton of punishment back to Ambrose. This one kept you engaged the entire time. The crowd was chanting, "This is awesome." Tons of brutal blows in this one. Uh, in the end, Dean Ambrose was down, and Kevin Owens set up four chairs, like musical chairs, in a circle. But then he put a fifth chair on top, and the fans were like, "What's going on here?" He went to grab Ambrose and tried to put him up through the chairs, but Ambrose knocked him and put him on the top turnbuckle. And all of a sudden, with Owens up there, Ambrose knocked Owens off, and Owens went through both tables with a moonsault, like a front flip, a somersault flip through the top, through both tables. And then that didn't land the 10 count for Owens. He didn't make the 10 count, or rather. And they counted to 10, and Dean Ambrose retained his title. What a war. Kevin Owens going through both those tables, man, that was something to see. That was awesome. That was awesome. The fans chanted a lot, but this match deserved it. I gave this match 4 stars and a quarter. Like I say, one of the best on pay-per-view for the Rumble history. Up there with Cena and Umaga, Bret Hart and Diesel, The Rock and Mankind, and the soon-to-be AJ Styles and John Cena. I haven't got to that yet. But this match was classic. And I forgot to mention that in the ring, in the middle of the match, Owens was down. Dirty Deeds was hit, and Owens was down, and they were going to count to 10, but he rolled out onto the floor to stand up for a brief second and then fall back down. That was one of the best innovative spots I've seen in the Last Man Standing match. I hadn't seen that before, and I forgot about it, that it happened when I rewatched it, because I've only seen the match twice now, once when it was live and now here again for this review. So 4 stars and a quarter. Let's move on now and go to the next match. There was a tag match before the pay-per-view to see who would get on the event. Jack Swagger and Mark Henry won that, the Fatal 4-Way. They beat out the Dudley Boys. They beat out Darren Young and Damian Sandow and the Ascension. All right, the New Day defended their titles against the Usos. The New Day Usos rivalry was just starting to pick up at this point. It was brand new, so the match flowed well. As of now, we've seen it 100,000 times, but for the first or second time, it was really unique because both these guys have tons of chemistry with each other, and I think that showed. It wasn't their best match together, but it was a damn good one. It went 10:52, and the titles remained with the New Day. I give it 3 stars. Great, really good tag team match here. Good pace, chemistry was there. Kalisto became the new United States champion at a time of 11:31 with beating Alberto Del Rio. There's a lot of high spots for Kalisto's offense, but also slower pace than the first two matches. When you're following a last man standing match and then you're following a tag match with two great tag teams that work aerial maneuvers, it's going to seem a little slow in spots, but it was only 11 minutes and we have a new champion in Kalisto. Charlotte Flair defended her women's title against Becky Lynch. It's important to remember that this was before Becky became the man, but there was still Becky chants, and I say that because Charlotte during the match would mock Becky, the Becky chants. This is before Charlotte took off and became one of the best, but she still had the good heel mannerisms to mock Becky with the crowd chanting, and the crowd didn't like that. And Charlotte put on a pretty good performance here, so same with Becky. Ric Flair got involved, kissed Becky on the outside, helped Charlotte every turn, tried to help Charlotte, who ended up retaining the title by pinfall. She beat Becky at 11:40, so just 9 seconds longer than the United States title match. And we have another champion defending the title. So 3 champions defend their title and one loses it, and that was Alberto Del Rio, who lost their title. Before we head to the main event, the Royal Rumble match. Just the second time ever that the Royal Rumble match WWE title was on the line as of this Rumble. And this is the first time where a champion defended the title, Roman Reigns, whereas it was just vacant in 1992 when Ric Flair won. But this is the second time the title was on the line, but the first one defended. So if Roman was thrown out, he would lose his title by default. Roman started the match, so their authority and Vince McMahon, they tried to throw everything they could at Roman. I'm just gonna say it now instead of in the middle, but Roman there was a spot where the authority threw Roman through the table. Roman had to go to the back, and then he refused laying down on a stretcher. And they did everything they could to put this babyface Roman Reigns, make him look unstoppable. They have to put Vince and Triple H and the Authority and everybody and all these things against him. And no matter what, the crowd shit on it. The crowd didn't want it, period, but they couldn't get it through their thick heads. And how long did it take to turn Roman heel? Another half a decade after this. At least we got it, but my God. It was just, I think it was just a stubbornness. I think they said, okay, well, the fans got their Daniel Bryan moment, so now we're not gonna let them choose. We're gonna push Roman as the face. That's what I personally think that happened because they weren't deaf. They knew Roman wasn't getting over as a face. Nonetheless, that's over in history. But during the match, you can just see the crowd they hated the fact that Roman might win this. So they were happy to see him leave, not happy to see him come back. But we haven't got to that yet. In the ring, go back to the beginning now. He started off with Rusev and threw Rusev out before the third entrant, and we know now why, because they wanted the third entrant to be a surprise, and it was. So they wanted all the attention focused on the number 3 entrant, and it was none other than AJ Styles making his WWE debut. Um, Awesome moment, especially if you're a fan of AJ. Just the crowd popped and they went, "Oh!" Just a great spot, a great Rumble debut. He lasted 28 minutes and 58 seconds, did AJ, and he threw out two different guys, Curtis Axel being one of them, AJ and Tyler Breeze being another. So AJ had a great debut. Tyler Breeze and Curtis Axel were actually the next 2 entrants in the match. So AJ was doing good off the bat. Him and Roman had some spots where they'd cheer and boo. Next, Jericho came out to a good ovation. Jericho would last longer than anyone in this Rumble. He lasted 51 minutes and 20 seconds. Well, that's for wrestlers who were in the ring. Roman Reigns actually lasted the longest, but he wasn't in the ring most of the time. Roman Reigns lasted 59:48, almost the entire Rumble, but he, like McMahon in 99, he wasn't out there. So Jericho really had the longest in the ring time. Kane came out after him, Corporate Kane. And at 19, it wasn't Corporate Kane. Corporate Kane was the year before. Kane came out in more of a black suit. He came out after Jericho. Goldust came out. Goldust had been on a roll, like in as far as showing up at Rumbles. This is like his fifth Rumble in a row. A couple of them were surprise entrants too. Ryback came out. He made it to the. He had some previous good experiences in the Rumble. He never won one, but Ryback was a good entrant at the time. Kofi Kingston came out at number 10, and each year they have Kofi Kingston do handstands, use the chair as a pogo stick, jump from the barricade to the apron. This year, the New Day caught him, and the New Day paraded him around the ring up on his shoulders and gave him a breather. They didn't. He wasn't in a hurry to get back in the ring. That was funny. Titus O'Neil, R-Truth, Luke Harper, Stardust. The ring started to fill up now. And then the Big Show, Neville, and Braun Strowman came out. So now the ring that was filled is going to be thrown out by the Giants. So the Big Show and Braun Strowman. Big Show threw out 2 men. Braun Strowman threw out 5, including the likes of the Big Show. Ron threw out Big Show. Then the next 2 were Kevin Owens and Dean Ambrose. A little bit. It's funny how they say the luck of the draw, but then they put Dean Ambrose and Kevin Owens together when they had the classic match. You should put someone in the middle of those 3 or those 2, as the third entrant should have been in the middle because it looks a little bit fixed when you're putting both them side by side. But it's a minor complaint. Just only a rabid fan would complain about something like that and nitpick it. So I'm not going to nitpick it. Out next was Eric Rowan, then Mark Henry, then Brock Lesnar, who got a huge pop. Lesnar, I didn't know this, but this was just his second Rumble match. He's been at other Rumble pay-per-views, but this was only the second time he was in a Rumble match, and the first one he won. So he'd never been eliminated in Royal Rumble, and he lasted in there 9:31, and he eliminated 4 guys. But in the end, Braun Strowman, Eric Rowan, and Luke Harper eliminated Brock in the end for Brock. So Brock was dominant and the crowd was happy and they really got out of their seats for him because he was the biggest name to come out since probably Jericho as far as the fans like giving a shit. No, that's no offense to guys like Dean Ambrose, but I'm talking about pop wise. So Lesnar had a good little run in there, but Swagger came out, then The Miz, then Alberto Del Rio. He was the winner of the 40-man Rumble, as we remember. Then Bray Wyatt, Dolph Ziggler, Sheamus, and Triple H. And Triple H was sort of a surprise entrant at 30. Before Triple H came out, though, Roman came back to the ring as the fans booed. And Roman started throwing a few guys out, including The Miz. So now that they're down to the last 4 or 5, they had Sheamus, they had Dean Ambrose, they had Triple H, and they had Roman Reigns. Those were the last 4. There was a spot where Roman Reigns charged towards Sheamus and eliminated him. And then Triple H from behind threw Roman out by taking his legs and doing the "suck it" slogan, and the fans went nuts. Roman Reigns is no longer champion, and the fans went crazy. Triple H eliminated him. Him and Ambrose had a good little square off, and Triple H was able to get his head down in between Ambrose's legs and back body drop him off to the floor. And Triple H spent 9:03 in the Rumble, ended up winning from the 30th entrant, the third guy to do so as of this Rumble. He eliminated 4 guys, including Dean Ambrose last, at a time of 1 hour, 1 minute, and 42 seconds to win his second Royal Rumble ever to Triple H, and he is the new WWE Champion. I give that match 3 stars and a quarter. It was a good Rumble. Not great, not fantastic, not bad, not okay, not average, just good. somewhere in the good section. So overall, I give this pay-per-view a 7 out of 10. Very fun. You have to go back and watch that last man standing match if you haven't in a while. You won't regret it. Between Dean Ambrose and Kevin Owens. I'm Brett Mix. This is Macho Wrestling 101. If you want to keep seeing the Royal Rumble reviews, subscribe today and write in the comment section what you thought about this Rumble. We need to get that comment section going. It's a brand new channel. I just love it, guys. I'd appreciate it. So we'll see you at the next one. This is Brett Mix for Macho Wrestling 101, and I'm out.